What we got here? What we got here? Keep it nice and steady right here, baby. Yeah. I'm back. I'm about to do this live right here. Haven't done a live in an ill minute. John Go, I said it. What up, what up, what up? See, we get this ball running right here. We're gonna talk our talk right here. Oh, let's see if this thing works out here. Haven't done it in a while.
What up, yeah, my brother?
What up, what up?
Man, I shared my brother just checking in with you one time, man.
Yeah, man, want to check out the vibe. What's going on, you partner? How's things on your
Tú
end?
sabes, todo bien, man. Ya tú sabes, aquí en la luchita, brother. Y fareo, no
Y
queda de
pa,
otra, mi
ah,
hermano.
hijo Tango.
Yo soy Homo Ochun con Chango.
Ah, mira eso, mira eso.
Yeah,
Okay.
brother. Aquí, man. I like what you got going on, man. I like how you giving everybody a view of our family's experience from our
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah,
Like, when we sit down together as a family, when you sit down with your mom and your uncle, every culture has it where you kind of undress those stigmas you have outside of the house, those fears, and you could just let loose and be comfortable and say, you know what, I didn't like when they did that, I didn't
yeah,
like this, this didn't help us. And then when we go back outside, we just go back to being socially acceptable
yeah.
because our families did feel a certain type of way,
Of course.
and burying my grandmother, bro, and watching how such a happy, joyous woman had so much trauma and she carried it, bro. And she was such a small stature woman, but when she carried those machetes, she would chop them sugar canes with so much. And what kept these people going?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mo-
saying? Like there's something, they had a certain drive inside of them that kept them going, not even just through the slave trade, just through life in general, bro. Like they don't really give up easy. Afro-Cuban people, they have a very strong sense of perseverance, man.
Resilient motherfuckers. Resilient motherfuckers, man. We fucking resilient.
I just have to give that up for my ancestors before I even speak about anything else. I have to pay homage to the ancestors because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here today. And all of us, and that's in our culture to venerate our ancestors. That's always been a practice
One
amongst us
thousand
as a
percent.
people.
What 1000%,
You
man. I hear you. And it's one of those things, for me, this is very personal for me because, I ended up burying my grandfather and he didn't go back to visit his family. This was 3 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Man, that's life, man. That's part of our history, unfortunately. That's part of our history. My relatives, they came out here, never went back. So we had to bury grandparents, we had to bury aunties, we had to, it's part of the
Right,
game. It sucks. It sucks, but
right.
that's part of the game. You know what I mean? When you're resilient, you're fighting that fight. But
Yeah,
I tell people the story. When my grandfather came out here, you could pretty much say they pretty much stripped him naked. But he always tells me like, yo, when I came over here, all I had was my shirt on my back, and the one thing he left with was his diploma, his bachelor diploma, because he was a designer, so he used to draw.
right, right,
He
right,
used to draw his ass off. You know what I mean? He could just look at you right now and just draw you to like the perfect perfection.
right.
So that was all he had in his heart because that's to prove he did something with this world. And he told me, yo, I took the diploma, folded it up, and put it in my sock. And because he was in that fucking boat, like the sock could getting wet. So he was hoping to get fucked up. And he took it and he saved it. That's all he had in his heart. And when I had to like take all the things from the house or whatever, the only thing I kept was besides the photos was his diploma.
I should. It
So that
means
was it.
something.
Yeah, it
It
means
means
something.
something.
So I got
It's
I got that right in the portrait or whatever. My uncle's trying to take that. I'm like, man, I'm keeping that one. Can figure something
yeah,
out. We take it. That was mine.
yeah. The smallest things meant so many great things to them. And when I was a child, my mother would take me to Cuba and she would leave me there for months. My grandfather.
Yeah,
And I grew up in Miami, bro.
yeah.
So
Are you originally from
I
Miami?
grew
You
up,
from Miami?
yeah,
You're in Miami right now?
yeah, yeah.
All right, all right, all right.
So I grew up getting picked on in middle school because my Shacks, the Shacks shoes back in the day when you had the
Yo, dog, I
Shacks,
had those. I had those.
bro.
I had
The fake farms, the Shacks, like my mom bought it all, bro.
yeah,
The $20 shoes. And in school, I would fight because people would pick on us about those shoes. So in my
Yeah.
mind, I was ingrained these shoes suck. You know, it's
Mm.
shit. It's embarrassing wearing these shoes.
Yeah.
Fast forward, I'm in Cuba, bro. I'm in Cuba, and one of my family members older than me, he's like, coño, esos zapatos tan buenos, muchacho. Me hace falta un par de zapatos que lo que tengo está jodido.
Yeah.
Man, I gave him the shoes, bro. And to me,
Yeah.
I'm just giving this guy a pair of Shacks. It's just
Yeah.
Shacks. When I tell you, Mike, this man broke down in tears, and those
Yeah.
tears still haunt me to this day.
Yeah.
Those were not regular tears, you know, I'm
Yeah.
happy. Those were a deep type of pain, you know, a very
Yeah.
deep type of pain. And that
Yeah.
always caused me to want to learn more about what these people are experiencing. And when I came back to America, people are still arguing about the shoes. And I'm like, dang, but these people over there are so grateful
The
for
little
these
things, man.
shoes.
First world problems. First world problems, kid. You know, if you go to my website, I mean, if you go to my YouTube, I had this dude Max Stewart. Like he broke it down to me. I put a
Right,
clip on
right,
my page because I know fuckers don't fucking see the whole episode. They fucking see the clips because we got fucking short term memory and they don't want to fucking sit there for an hour
right,
and see shit.
right.
But my man broke it down for me like, yo, like I had to go to he had to go to Cuba to see his grandmother and he had to like take a shower with a cubeta. And the
Exactly.
grandmother had to like heat up the water. The lights were going out. You know what I mean? It was just like little things. You know what I mean? And then like he could like he couldn't because he was American. He could go to certain section, but his family couldn't. And it
Right,
was
right,
like
right,
that crazy dynamic because they still had that segregation shit that Cubans couldn't go to the tourist section. So he's
right.
in the tourist section, and he was basically like the man. And he like with the little money that he had, the little money that we had make here, you're damn near a millionaire over there.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, it was like he look at things from a crazy perspective and like, yo, man, we really take shit for granted that we legit have first world problems. And like if we don't have any water in the house, it's because we ain't paid the bills. And then we ain't got no situation that
Right,
we have missing water. It's because we didn't pay the bill. That was it.
right. Which is a
You,
controllable circumstance. You could control if you
you
pay
can
your
control
water
that.
or
You
not.
control
Over
that.
there, it's you don't. Nothing is in your control in Cuba, and you
Yeah,
come to great peace of not being in control. That it creates a certain type of psychology. Because my
yeah,
grandmother was born in 1931, and she's the one that raised me, and her
yeah,
psychology was different from the modern day Cubans. She had more of a we can get this done type of attitude.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's born from the era pre-Batista. Because people, when they talk about Cuba, they can only go back as
They go straight
Batista
to Batista.
and
They go straight to
Fidel.
Batista and then
And to
Fidel.
them, that creates a binary argument. That's what debaters would call a binary argument because you're
Yeah,
debating two unconstitutional presidents.
yeah. And
The 1940 Constitution.
and it went from far right to like far left. So it was like, Batista was on some bullshit, but then with Castro, it was fucking new and improved.
But
So
the thing is, when you talk to old people, I talked to an old man today. I said, how old are you, viejo? 82 años. Con
mhm,
Batista, dime con la cosa en Cuba con Batista. Oye, chicos, con Batista había todo. Jodiendo, pues había todo, no faltaba nada. And grandma said the same thing. Yeah,
yeah,
Batista was full of shit, but they didn't really need anything.
yeah, anything. It was just like he just had a fucking king complex. Just don't talk shit about me. I'll cut your head off. That was all it was. But you could have your own house. You could get your money or whatever the case may be. And the thing that annoys me, something my mother taught me is like you got
Right,
these people that are fucking social and comedy. They think that that's going to cure the problem. That's like saying, if you take all away the guns, there's not going to be any violence. You know what I'm saying? There's
right,
always
right,
going to be
right.
violence, no matter what kind of system you put, whatever ism you put, what's a socialism, capitalism, whatever it can be. There's always going to be a dynamic where it's going to be richer or poor. Some people have it
Right.
because of bad luck, or you just suck at grinding. And some people got money because they work hard for it, or because you got grandfather in and you're a nepo baby. That's the
Mhm.
game. You know what I
And
mean?
it's
Like it's a
on you.
business. It's
It's
on
on
you.
you. If you
Handle
make
your
it, you
shit.
make it. If you don't, it's on you still.
Yep, handle your
That's all.
shit. We all gonna go through problems in life. And if you can handle these kind of problems, imagine you got like real fucking problems. Because we don't have
Yeah,
real fucking problems in this world. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Even these people that are bitching about that we live in a dictatorship. It's not that. It's like they're coming from a place of entitlement. You didn't get what the fuck you wanted politically wise, so now you think the fucking world is over. So that's it. It's easy to fix a fucking problem. It's very easy. Vote, get the people, and make sure your can doesn't suck. You know what I mean? The shit's switching. That's the beauty of the system. It's flawed. It got its fuckery, but it could be
Everything,
fixed.
like everything in life,
It could
nothing
be
is
fixed.
perfect. We
It could be
haven't reached
fixed.
perfection yet, but the thing is, like in Cuba, okay, when I was in Jamaica, I spent a lot of time in Jamaica. I spent a lot of time in the Virgin Islands,
Yeah,
and these islands are smaller than Cuba in the
yeah,
same region. So that means when you grow there, you can grow in Cuba. Cuba's not on a volcano on another planet.
yeah.
Jamaica, they got a saying, we can't starve. That means they cannot starve. It's almost physically impossible because this man sells yams, this man sells mango, he sell coconuts. Go take some coconuts and walk up the road. You're gonna come back with a basket full of a bunch of things because you're gonna
Yeah,
trade. You're a
yeah,
fisherman. And that has nothing to do with the government. That's just the culture of the people because they have a self-sufficient, progressive culture. Cubans, we're the same way. We just have a different type of stipulation. One, we can't farm. We can't have agriculture because the government makes you sell them 90% of
yeah.
your of
Mm,
whatever you harvest. Now let's say I'm selling something to you and you tell me, hey, I'm gonna give you 80 cents a pound. And I say, hey, no, Mike, the guy down the street is gonna give me $1.25 a pound. You gotta up that money.
yeah.
You're gonna have to up the money because
Up
now
it
there's
up.
competition. But if
Yeah,
you the only man I'm allowed to sell to and you say
yeah,
80 cents a pound, I got no choice but to sell it at 80 cents because I
yeah.
can't you can't compete with
We
nobody.
can't compete.
And that's
Yeah.
cutting my profit and that's keeping me working for nothing. So it's like they need to change that mindset in Cuba because that's from the Soviet Union and it's not made for us. It's not made for a tropical island with people that can sell bananas and make a living. It's not made for
And
us.
the shit about we got this shit. It's just they won't let us. We got a whole area where we could fucking fish, and they won't even let us fish. We don't even
We got
eat
the biggest
lobsters.
island. We got the biggest island in the
Biggest
Caribbean.
island,
You
and
hungry?
we have the resource. They won't even let us have it. That's the part that's scary. They don't even have it because they better have us all messed up in the head. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, I live up in the north, so I live in Massachusetts, and I'm at war. You know, if it would have been Florida, I know would have a good army around me. I mean, I got a little Cuban army out here, but it ain't how it is down south.
Right,
And you
right.
know, we stay fighting with these people. And the thing that sucks about it, we got people on a political level that don't fuck with us. You know what I mean? There are people on a political level, on a higher level, that go to Cuba and deal with a dictatorship and come over here and spread lies. That's why you got all these damn college kids up in Harvard and MIT getting crazy
Yeah.
indoctrinated when it comes to this shit.
Yeah,
And,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's a crazy war. It's a crazy
Yeah.
war.
And it's gonna be like that. And how it's gonna work is we're gonna have to take back um our ancestors' land. You know, I talked to my family. I still have some of them alive, but at the end of the day, some people they got grudges in their hearts, bro. My grandmother died with a grudge in her heart
I don't blame him. I don't blame him.
because we have land. I'm not gonna say exactly where because we do have informers watching videos and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
we have land in Cuba that when Castro took over, my family Afro-Cuban, I'm the lightest one in my family.
yeah,
They took it from them too. And
yeah.
they're black Cuban, bro. Like they fought for independence. They have their land given to them in 1886 when the emancipation of slavery.
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't. Ah, rats. Oh man, I hope I could catch them. Oh, we were having a good talk here. I hope I could catch him again. Oh, oh. Let me see. Catch him again.
What's up? I'm back.
All right.
I was getting another call. What I'm saying is Antonio Marcel, he actually had to draft like a contract, a treaty, just for Afro-Cuban people's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't reject it. They would rip it up. He would draft another one until he said, okay, but Afro-Cubans need to have a certain amount of freedom.
Yeah,
So Antonio Marcel was literally our civil rights leader, and that was my grandma's biggest Cuban national hero.
yeah,
So they share the same hometown. She never talked about Stalin or Vladimir Lenin or Karl Marx. All she talked about was Marcel.
yeah,
He was the leader and the hero of Black Cubans.
yeah,
Literally. It was never Che Guevara or Castro. It was never them for the old black people.
yeah. And it's crazy because it's crazy because it's like, you know, I got, you know, back in the day, I was dropping little nuggets here and then or whatever up north or whatever. But after July 21st, I mean, July 11th, I went to a freaking rabbit hole. And what I went, you know what I mean? I was trying to learn about, you know, our history because I was
Right,
born
right.
here. So I was very in tune with Black American history. But it was like, yo, what the fuck is our story? Because we never really got it. All I got was myself. I've seen little documentaries here and then, but I knew it wasn't like the full story. You know, my
Yeah.
grandfather dropped a lot of gems on me because he was the one that actually sat down and gave me the game on certain things that happened, especially during that era. You know, after everything that happened, now my parents started telling me the story of everything that happened to them while they were living in Cuba because, you know, I get it. It's a traumatic experience and they don't know what the hell, you know, they don't want to relive that. So you got to be careful the way you ask them questions, you know. So then once my mom told me what happened, my dad told me what happened, like my grandfather, the one that said, whatever, this is what happened to me, blah, 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 blah. And I had to deal with these fools or whatever. And he had no problem because it was like, yeah, even viejito, it is what it is. You know, my parents, they were still holding on to something. So now, once it became a certain time, yeah, and there was certain thing that would happen to me because I went to college, and there were certain things that, you know, they were saying about Cuba that was not the truth. So I'm paying for a lie. That's another thing too.
Yeah,
I was paying for a whole lie. So, you know, once they saw how I was moving, and there's a long story behind that. I tell it in a few podcasts or whatever. I'll tell you about it later. But I was moving kind of crazy. But again, it's because I didn't know, and my parents didn't give me the game. And then once my grandfather had a conversation with me, he gave me the game, and then slowly but surely, everybody told me what happened, what led to them coming here. Because, you know, when you're a kid, you don't ask so many questions. I'd be like, yo, why we can't go to Cuba? Because it's bad as a communism. That's it. I gotta walk out. Keep it moving. And that was it. But then afterwards, they told me the whole story. I'm like, oh. And the funny thing about it, the year that COVID hit, I was this close from going out there because I said, all right, fuck it, what I got to lose, and, you know, I ain't doing shit. Like, I've been to DR, I've been to PR, might as well just go there. And then COVID hit, so it was like a weird blessing in disguise.
Right.
And after everything that I've done, you know, showing the movement and the cost and the things I've been talking about my radio station, I'm like, there's no way in hell I can go back there because I've been a madman. I've been a madman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my cousin, you know what I mean? She's a crazy influence or whatever. She went to Cuba, you know, last time when she went to Cuba, she went to bury her mom, and they kept tabs on her. They kept tabs on her, and she told me, yeah, like when I was out there, like, you know, her cousin gave me a call, like, yo, you got to be careful when you move because they're asking about you.
Yeah.
Just because she went viral out here.
Yeah,
and it was like, yeah, you got to watch how they move or whatever. And then you had like, you know, the neighborhood snitch and all these like undercovers. And they'd be like, yeah, they ain't from the neighborhood. We know why they're here. So she was like, you know, and she's a gangster motherfucker. She just rolled the dice and said, yo, I'm going to bury my mom's. Whatever happens, happens. But it was a situation that, you know, she had God by the side, and the answer, they were like, you know what, let me not fuck with this lady, because if we do something to her, then America's gonna give a shit.
Right.
So he said, fuck it.
Right. You know, when you go there, they are gonna watch you. They know whose house you're gonna be at, where you're gonna go, and every neighborhood has a jurisdiction. For example, he's in charge of these 3 blocks. He's in charge of the next 3, and they don't miss a beat, bro.
Yeah.
I watched them when I was there too.
The CDR motherfuckers.
They call me there.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't want that headache. And no, it's crazy. Like, you know, it's crazy because like I hear, you know, me being from where I'm from, I'm in the hood or whatever the case. I'm always used to like, you know, being in a quote unquote white neighborhood. And then, you know, if I'm in a white neighborhood, like, you know, I know I have somebody calling the cops on me or whatever it came me when I was younger. And I always have that paranoia. But then when I get the stories of what happened in Cuba, fuck about not being watched. Because they're blatant with it. It's not even a situation they're hiding under the bed. No, they're in your face looking at you like,
because you don't have no rights. You don't have no rights to like claim. So
why
they
you
can't
here?
violate rights you don't have.
What are you committed to? So it's insane the way they're blatant in your face, man. And you know, up north, you know, Massachusetts has just been like a really weird place right now because you have a lot of socialist influences out here and communist influences out here. Just like, you know, going back and forth to Cuba, just like, you know, bringing up the lies. And, you know, luckily for me, I have like media right now, so I'm able like to like debunk that. So the little of what I have, I'm able to like, you know, combat that and just go back and forth with them and let them know what it is. Now it's getting to the point. It got kind of scary because I'll be in places and be like, yo, you're that guy that talked about the Cuban shit. And mind you, my show's a hip hop show.
People know you there.
Yeah. So my thing is my whole thing is I bring hip hop artists, you know, I just played like, you know, was popping for the week. So my thing is all hip hop. So then like last year, you know, I went to my archives and like, you know, I look at the, you know, the people that I brought over to the show, like the players that I have. And I'm like, oh, I went like beyond the fucking deep end with this fucking activism shit. I gotta like pull it back or whatever and actually bring artists and talk about some other shit or whatever. But I think after what I did last year, And I mean, I'm gonna pull it back this year, but I know for a fact, especially with all the shit been going on in the news, that
Yeah.
something might happen. I can't put it all the way back. I can't.
We could do that, man. I make music too. I'm looking to make a track about this topic on Calle Ocho, very visual. I got some people, some religious people. I want them to play Shango drums while I do this song behind
Yo,
me.
what? Yeah, whatever you got, send it on my way, and I'll play that shit.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Shango's fire is the fire of justice, bro. And what they done
Yeah,
to us
no,
is a great injustice.
that's the fiery one, kid. That's the fiery one.
You understand? And the
Yeah,
thing is, we got to talk about UMAP concentration camps in Cuba, 1965, 1968. All my elders tell me the same thing. They all can't be lying. They
no,
told me, dang, it was en Camagüey. Si te cogen caminando y tú tienes los pantalones y la gente coge un limón, a lemon, right?
yeah.
And they will get a lemon, bro, and they will put the lemon in your waist. If the lemon doesn't roll all the way down and come out your pants, that means your pants are too tight and you're considered a hippie and you're going straight to UMAP.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know
Straight
about
up.
that story. I didn't know about that story, but I always heard these stories about like, because my mom told me stories that back in the days, like they made black folk cut their afros. My cousin
Yes, you
told me
can
this
have
too.
long hair.
They cut their
Yes.
afros. You can't have like the sideburns hippie style like the Beatles. Like they
Right.
told me that. They told me that,
Western
but
styles.
yeah, they weren't having none of that stuff or whatever the case may be. Yeah, because my cousin, my mom told me that stuff. Um, yeah, because she had friends that had that afro, the case may be, and now there's like a quote unquote sense of rebellion if you're trying to do some shit like that.
Yes, bro. The religion, everything was rebellious. Jesus Christ, Christmas got banned in Cuba. To this
Yeah,
day, it's still frowned upon. You have to wait till January 6th, the Dia de los Reyes, to give gifts.
yeah,
Traditionally.
it's insane. And I know we talked about it earlier on, whatever. Like I'm in a just because I've been to a bunch of debates when I first started in this stuff, but I realized people with the opposing age, they just give you a damn headache because they don't care. They just care about their ideology and they rather hide the truth and protect the lie. My point right now is bring anybody, especially from the Afro-Cuban community, just get everybody galvanized and talk about our shit.
Yeah.
Talk talk about our shit and get busy with it, whatever. And go after the opposing end. And the only people that I want to talk about is people that are not in the know. Because unfortunately, this is the first time ever that I've seen Cuba like on the news like that. And unfortunately, we're not given the the right light or the right truth of what's going on because it's Trump in office or whatever the case may be. That's
Right,
another
right,
conversation.
right.
But
That's
because
another channel. Yep.
that's another channel. So now they're talking about, oh my God, they're having the electricity went out and the blockade and the electricity, and they be bringing the electricity. Like, yo, we've been having no fucking electricity since the 70s.
Yeah, facts. My
Since
grandpa
the
used to cuss
70s.
out the regime every time. It
Yeah,
was
this is nothing
how
new.
old it is. Yeah, in the 70s. Exactly.
Yeah. My
That
home
sh-
go to the story how she was I think like the day she was born, something I gotta answer the story, but I think the day she was born or whatever, like I think there was like no gasoline in the ambulance. This is the 80s. There
yeah,
was no
facts.
there was not enough gas to get her to the hospital back in the day. So it was like is you hear these wild stories and you just can't like fathom that this shit happened to these people. That's why people are very grateful, especially Cubans being in the circumstance they are. Just on the fact that Cuba have like the most expensive passport for no freaking reason.
Yeah.
No freaking reason.
Bro, I remember it was $1 a minute. My mom would call Cuba. You know, they make your parents make you talk to your family on the phone. And you're a
Yeah,
kid. Oh, yeah,
yeah.
apúrate. $1 minuto. It was a
It was like
dollar a
jail.
minute. And
Like
China
jail.
was like 4 cents a minute. I'm like, yeah, it's like jail, bro. It's just
Yeah.
like jail. The same concept applies as jail. You have to
Yeah.
get visitation, approval, $1 a minute. Come
Yeah.
on.
Hoping
They
nobody
can't
ain't
be
hearing the conversation,
self-sufficient.
being nosy and shit.
Yeah, bro, facts. So it's like Cuba is literally a prison, and I grew up with a lot of West Indian people, bro. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, was what disappoints me the most about my West Indian friends and community is that they have this trust for Castro, and they don't want to check in with us as a people to say, "Hey, how do you guys feel? How is not voting since 1948 going?" But they
Yeah.
get to vote all the time because you got JNP and PLP in Jamaica, conservatives and liberals. And actually, when it comes to us, we have conservative Cubans and liberal Cubans. It's just that it's illegal to be one of them.
We one of them. Yeah.
It's illegal.
Uh,
It's literally contraband. You become human contraband, bro.
yeah. Yeah. Fucking what they call it. Vende patria. Fucking
They
vende
won't
patria.
even like. But the thing is, no other Caribbean island would like that, bro. I don't think they
Mm-hmm.
would like that. But the fact that
Yeah.
they think we should like that to support their ideology of rebelliousness is selfish to me. because
Yeah,
you would sacrifice our well being to prove a point. Just
yeah,
as you got
man.
a problem with America doesn't mean that everybody that else that has a problem in America is good for black people.
Exactly. And it's so weird, because another thing too, when Castro died, I went to war with a lot of people. And like my mom, and if you get a chance, go to my YouTube and hear the episode I did with Professor Amale Dashe. She did
Right,
my episode and she just broke down so many gems. That's like out of all the episodes I did, that's like my favorite one because I've been trying to get on my show for years.
right,
And she broke it down for me, and it was like they both said the same thing. What the communist movement did, they did a great job pumping propaganda, especially to the disenfranchised people. Who are the most disenfranchised people? Black people. So they
right.
became like, the hero worship, Castro going to Harlem with Malcolm X, Asada Shakur, him going to Africa to fight apartheid. You know what I mean? Him going to St. Louis, Louisiana when the fucking Katrina hit, trying to act like, hey, we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
help
yeah,
you guys, so whatever the case
yeah,
may be. So they did a good job pumping money as propaganda as long as they made America look like they were the villain. So that's the thing that we gotta like trying to find a loophole
yeah.
and trying to tell people that's not it. And it's been it's been baby steps because it's crazy because of my TikTok is popping. So when I tell these people these stories, they're like, yo, I didn't know. So you have people somewhere like in Illinois or Nebraska that don't even know like the Cuban story. It was so crazy when I first had this movement going. I had somebody remember in 2023 or 2024, they were telling me, yo, where's Fidel Castro had to fix this problem? They thought the dude was still alive. 2023.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They don't remember
That's how that's how far detached Cubans are to the world.
we got internet in 2010.
Yeah.
We didn't get internet until 2010. That means people been on Wi-Fi forever.
Well, technically, didn't we get Wi-Fi to like 2017? Because that's what Obama fought for when he went and did that stupid deal.
Right, in 2010 is when you had access to the internet cafe.
Yes, yes, yes. That we
That was
got,
like the
and then
first
like
Facebook page.
yeah, and then like after 2017, 2016, and they had the crappy Wi-Fi, but it was like super restricted. It was terrible. The bad
Bro,
Wi.
Cubans don't even fully understand social media because in Cuban Spanish, every social media is called Reddit. Reddit sociales.
Mm-hmm.
Reddit. Like
Yeah,
literally say los redes sociales. They call
yeah,
every social media Reddit. Like they're still learning about social media. So
yeah.
imagine there's no press, there is no social media. It's like you go to court, right? And I'm
Mm-hmm.
charging you with a crime and ain't no witnesses. But there's witnesses, but I'm saying, well, you say, well, those witnesses don't have freedom of speech. They can't
Yeah,
testify against me, but I brought my own evidence that you can use against me.
no doubt.
Imagine
Yeah.
that. Imagine persecuting someone that is responsible for providing their own evidence to be used against them.
Mm-hmm.
The case is never going to end because none of their witnesses have freedom of speech.
Yeah,
So they're playing chess, bro. And the thing is, how long does a revolution have to be a government until it's no longer considered a revolution?
yeah. I'm still being optimistic about it that nothing can last forever. Nothing can last forever. So I'm hoping this thing could finally end and it could have a plan B because I have to. I cannot leave this earth at least with a little bit of a change or whatever.
Right.
I'm at a point right now. As long as my parents could see the island before they pass away, I'll be good. That's how I got left, because it's like, and it's crazy because this is like the littlest thing that we're asking for, you know, because I
Man, you're right.
and
You're
I'm
right.
doing that just off the strength of that, just the fact of honoring them because once I got the full story of what my parents went through, the case may be, it's like I kind of now you ever seen that joke from that dude who said that line that's half Dominican and half Cuban, Marcelo, what his name is?
All right, what do you say?
He said he had some joke that because his mom is Cuban and the whole thing he like, oh, you got mental health issue? Like I survived communism. I had a home, I had a farm. You are talking about mental health issue because some girls doesn't like you. I left everything and came here. So you could come here and have mental health issues. You
It's
want
true
mental
though.
health issues?
It's
I'll deal with the mental
psychological,
health issues.
bro. The thing is, man, I like to do bullet points when it comes to this type of stuff, and I'm very chronological because nothing is new underneath the sun. Remember,
Amen.
communism was debuted into the world in 1917 by Vladimir Lenin in Russia, which was they turned it into the Soviet Union. Their group name was the Bolsheviks. The
Mm-hmm.
flag that Castro flies is the same flag the Bolsheviks flew. Those
Yeah.
were his predecessors. And the thing is, nobody wants to talk about his predecessors. Those were the ones that designed his entire format, his execution, because he did everything that they did. You understand?
Hmm.
and the Bolsheviks are the ones that are in charge of getting rid of Christianity. I'm not going to get into it, but anybody can Google what heritage did the Bolsheviks identify with.
Yeah.
Fidel Castro also admitted to have that same heritage as well. So it's not a pattern, and communism actually comes from someone with that same heritage on top of that. So it seems like it's a certain type of pattern going on, and they're changing their names because they say Cuba has this going on. It's not Cuba because we never voted for communism.
Yeah.
We're not dead yet. My grandma just died, bro. So it's
Yeah.
like she told me he never announced communism. He announced democracy to rectify what the previous leader compromised, the
Yeah.
Constitution on the 10th of March of 1952. That's when Batista suspended the Cuban Constitution.
Hmm.
Castro was supposed to bring it back with democracy, and people don't even know Castro had an American white guy from Ohio fighting alongside him. People don't even know that.
I didn't know that. You know dude's name? I didn't even know. I gotta go check that out.
But I don't know his name, but he was from Ohio, right? And he was fighting with Castro. And the thing is, Castro have bro thinking we getting democracy back. So bro's fighting for democracy now. Castro waited 23 months to announce the communist character after January 1st, 1959. He waited until December 1960 to announce it and say, today we are communists. And if you don't like it, you are a gusano, which is a maggot. He didn't
Yeah.
ask her for a consensus. He didn't say, hey, what do you guys think about this? He just did that shit. So tomorrow you wake up enemy number one.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Submit or
freaking
die.
lied. Don't worry about it. He freaking lied. He tricked us all. He tricked a lot of people. He tricked a lot of people. Unfortunately, a lot of people fell for it, and this became the result. And it is what it is right now. But right now, I'm at a point right now that I'm just if you go through my YouTube okay, maybe when I first started this thing, because I know people go after like the white liberals and the communism. My thing was actually go after the black and brown people that has this misconception that we have an adoration to them. So it's like when I talk about this shit, it's things that comes from a black and brown perspective of Cubans. My first podcast, I had like a whole group, a panel of black humans, and they all had stories to share. And, it was a dope experience. I try to have that to professors, to like rappers, anybody that looked like us to, just to share that experience. And
Right.
it's been I would say an interesting journey, a phenomenal, and then again, an interesting journey because, I came across interesting people. I remember I went to Miami and I went to the show and I went with my homegirl and, it was this party that Drink Champ was hosting.
Right.
And I went there and I saw some people from around the way. And my homeboy, he had some goons with him. So, they kept looking at me. So I thought we had a problem. So I'm like, all right, I'm kind of lonely out here. It's just me and a girl. So I'm hoping I ain't got no beef. So one of the dudes like stepped to me, like, yo, don't you that motherfucker from Boston be talking that Cuban shit? But dude like really lined me up. And I'm like, yeah. And he gave me daps. He's like, yo, salute, yo, you keep doing what you're doing, keep talking that shit. And and he ended up being one of my boys because I came through later on and I ended up bumping into him. But I got a lot of love, but sometimes you never know what to expect whatever the case may be, because you do have some people in the opposing end. But for the most part, I've gotten a lot of love. And Miami showed a lot of love.
Yeah.
Miami showed a lot of love.
Miami is where it's at for this, bro, because in Miami, a lot of us were raised by people that lived it.
Yeah,
And you inherit your parents' trauma. It's in the
yeah.
blood, it's in the
We
psychology.
all do. We all do.
It's this psychology. And at the
Yeah.
end of the day, it's survival skills too. And, for example, my family always would tell me, like, take advantage of the fact you can be free to be yourself. No
Hmm.
matter who you want to be, what you want to do, you want to be a painter, you want to be a welder, you can make a living welding
Yeah.
if you want to.
What's crazy about this? I thought about it a couple of days ago. We live in a hood, so people either inspired to be either a rapper or a basketball player. And
Right.
they were like, we even complain about, yo, you don't have to be a basketball player or a rapper just to make it. You could be a doctor or a lawyer, but it's crazy. You could live in a country where you could make millions just for opening your mouth or dribbling the ball
Yeah.
and get
Yeah.
your people out the hood.
Bro.
That
When I
looks
was
nice.
in
That looks
when I
nice. That's nice. It looks nice.
shit, when I was in Cuba,
Thick.
bro, me and my cousin went to the store to get some milk. And I remember, bro, he put like a little plastic bag on the scale. He poured some warm ass milk in the bag. and weighed
Yeah,
up the milk and gave it to us. And I was like, the milk ain't cold. There ain't no plastic bottle to put it in. She's like, no, it come like this. It's warm. And
yeah,
it's like, I thought about it and I was like, we have all this land, all these farms. Why can't we just be self-sufficient and let people have private properties so they can be more motivated to make more milk, more products, more everything?
yeah.
It brings more money within the community, it circulates more, and you feed the people.
Yeah, but they don't want that. They want full control. I remember I read somewhere a while ago that it became a problem once China got involved because they gave them some kind of electrical grill, whatever for them to handle, and they even told them, "Yo, you gotta change your shit." You know what I mean? Because we ain't gonna be building you all the time. We cool and all, but you be coming to do with your hand out, asking for a favor, whatever. We forgave you for your debt.
Yeah.
You gotta change your shit.
The
And they were
thing is,
like,
bro,
"Nah."
I'm not
They,
closed minded because I read a lot about Black Panthers. I know about Sada Shakur, Huey
of
Newton,
course,
Fred Hampton. I read about them. And the thing is, maybe I'm crazy, but why are all these people insisting on embracing a Marxist tradition when Marxist doesn't come from Black people? Karl Marx is
that's a
German.
good question. That's a good question. But I think in their ideology, they think that brings some sort of form of equality because that's what he was selling. He was selling equality. There's a lot of discrepancy around that because again, it's a white man telling you this kind of thing. You're taking notes of it, and they think that'll be the answer. But in their mind, they're thinking, okay, we all need to be equal, which is also not realistic. The only thing I want equally is respect, and that even have to be earned within itself. Respect me as a human being.
Right.
I respect you as a human being. But if I'm better than you at something, like if I'm better than you, like whatever the case may be, at your job, at my job, or playing ball, whatever it can be, I want the fruits of my labor to be paid for. You know what I
That's
mean? I
how that's
can't be
how
good
Castro
and
sold
you
it.
can't. Yeah, I
Castro
can't be
bagged it
good
up
and you
and
be.
sold it just like that. Equality.
Yeah, I can't be, great and you be mediocre, and then we all have the same. No, no, no. It's like when I was a kid, I wasn't a fan of group projects because I always knew there
Right.
was like a weak link. You know what I
Right.
mean? I always
Right.
we had to carry the dead weight. I wasn't a
Right.
fan of that when I was a kid, but
Facts.
that's the thing they're trying to get. So we all do 90% of the work. You do 10, and well, we all did it as a group
And we
effort.
all get the
No,
same paycheck. We all get the
yeah.
same paycheck.
No, that's not realistic.
Right.
That's not realistic.
Yeah. Because
So
my opinion, a white man in the 1800s doesn't possess the consciousness to liberate black people in 2026 or in the 19th
hell no,
century. I
hell
just
no,
don't. I can't submit to that
hell no.
because at the end of the day, I hate to keep things spiritual, but Ifa actually teaches us how to govern ourselves as a people. Like Oshun, right? The Orisha Oshun.
Well, that's nice.
Oshun, thank you. Oshun was once enslaved, bro. And when Oshun was enslaved, she escaped from slavery thanks to Eshu. And Oshun was told by Ifa to become a businesswoman.
Yeah,
And Ifa would bless her. She became a businesswoman and capitalized off of her business. You understand? Oshun then became a successful woman in Lagos, modern day Lagos, Nigeria, Ile-Ife. And Oshun was known for her business prowess, and she was Orumila's right hand person. That was his wife. So she helped him do business decisions. That's why Oshun brings money. Oshun wasn't a communist, dog. She wasn't working for the state. She
yeah,
was a go getter. So if this is our religion, this is what we believe in. Shango was a king. Shango wasn't no slave to no German ideal. Shango was a king.
yeah,
You feel me? How are we going to submit to a German Soviet idea and give up all of our ambition? We never
yeah.
did. But
Never
the thing
did.
is, they silenced us. We don't have no press, no freedom of speech. There's a language barrier. Half of us can't even speak English. So people in America are like, oh, power to the people in Cuba. But they don't understand that we're fighting a silent revolution.
And the only thing, like the whole government is run by white Cubans. That's the shit that fucks me up. And don't even want to talk about that. It's all run by white Cubans.
They get whiter every
So how the
time.
fuck they gonna be a revolution? They white Cubans. They come from money. Castro came from money. So what the fuck you know about the working class?
Hey, they get whiter every time. I don't know where they keep finding these whiter Cubans. Like they're
I don't
very
know.
good at doing
Yeah,
this. Like they import them from Russia. That's what it looked
I'm
like.
telling you. I'm telling you. They're
How are
they're
they?
they're, they're two
How are they in
shades
the
look like
sun?
damn a ghost right now.
They're already in the same sun that we in, bro. You understand? So it means to tell you something. Castro came from bread, and Castro came from Spaniard. His father was a Spaniard. His mother
Yeah,
was from the Canary Islands, which was also a colony of Spain. That
yeah.
means Castro don't have a tío cubano, and no tiene un abuelo cubano. Tú
No,
sabes? So how can he disappoint his elders if we were not his elders?
exactly. Exactly. He was not. He
He was
was so
not
detached. He
inherently
was
Cuban.
now he was so detached from that, and he wasn't even part of that. So that's the thing. Like you got to be a part of something to be relatable, and he wasn't none of that. He just
If,
pretty much grandfathered in and
bro,
became an asshole.
if he had a Cuban grandma look him in his eye and say, mijo, tú no vas a joder lo que nosotros luchamos aquí, cortando caña y toda la jodida, el cable que nos jamamos nosotros, tú no lo vas a joder con ese
Yeah,
relajo tuyo. If he had a Cuban grandma to pull his ear and tighten him up, maybe he would have felt different, but he don't have no elders, no heritage in Cuba. There's nobody in his bloodline that fought for the independence.
nope.
Nobody.
And the thing about it too, man, if you go through his life in childhood, he was very mediocre at best, very mediocre person. So he wanted that self praise. That's why he took all the religious stuff and wanted a picture in
He's a
people's houses.
narcissist. He's a
Very
narcissist.
narcissist or whatever. He was like, from what I've read, he was very mediocre at sports. He wanted to play baseball. He was average at best. He couldn't pull no chicks. He was very average looking in high school. Supposedly,
Yeah.
kind of smelled funny. He was a bastard child. His parents didn't want him. He was stuck in the farm labor with all the freaking Haitians or whatever. They had to do the farming stuff. So the dude was like, daddy issues. So he just wanted something to be self praised.
Yeah.
That's all it was. So he gave all that prompts to all of us.
It's the thing is he sold Cuba to the Soviets. And they say, well, at least he didn't sell it to America. A transaction is a transaction, dog. You sold
Yeah,
out. You sold out. I don't care
sold
who you
out.
sold out to,
So
but
yeah,
you still sold out because guess what? How you gonna make Che Guevara the head of the financial sector of Cuba? And Che Guevara is not even Cuban. None of his
dude,
ancestors chopped sugar cane and they didn't understand that was our greatest export.
dude,
Come
dude.
on, man. You made a foreigner the head of all of our finances, bro.
dude, dude. And it's like it's so I'm so befuddled how people just praise this shit. It's right in your face. It's right in your fucking face.
My mom met Che Guevara. My uncle met Che Guevara. Both my grandparents met him in Santiago. Like they've seen him in person, and they
My mom
all
was
hated his guts.
my mom was to school with his daughter.
Yeah,
My mom was with daughter. She was like nobody liked her. Nobody liked her.
bro, because they not from there. And at the end
Yeah,
of the day, Che Guevara killed a lot of people. My grandfather's brother, he was arrested when he was 17 because he didn't agree with communism. The day he turned 18, midnight, 12:01, they had him lined up, firing squad. They executed my grandfather's brother named People. And that it ate my grandpa up. It ate my grandma up because they were like, he was just a kid when he violated. Like, how can you kill a child?
Oh, he's infamous for that. He was infamous for killing teenagers. That was his go-to. Giving
Kids,
that parent
bro.
that misery. That's why he died like a bitch. He tried like a straight bitch when he figured that begging for his life. Talking about I'm worth more. I'm worth more than alive.
They didn't just kill Bautista's thugs when they came in. They killed Afro-Cubans. Marcus Garvey actually had 52 branches of the UNIA in Cuba. Many people don't talk about that. He
I didn't know
actually
that.
had more branches in Cuba than he did in New York or the United States at one point in time. There were a lot of Jamaicans in Cuba, and Marcus Garvey actually said that communism is not built for the diaspora Negro, and it will only prioritize the needs of a mixed working class instead of the Negro's needs. And it's another white man's creation.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Garvey
I didn't
said
know
that
that.
about communism in Cuba in the 1920s, and that's when the thought was coming into Cuba. So people were
Wow.
actually talking about communism, and Garvey said, "This is not for us."
Yeah. Wow.
And they didn't listen to Garvey, and then they got rid of Garvey. And any civil rights movements that were left after Castro took over, he disbanded them and said, I'm going to take care of racism single handedly. I don't need y'all to organize.
That's the thing. So when I had the professor on my show, she broke it down. I think next to America, Cuba did have the most like black social, like black organization and Pan Africanism next to America. We had the second most next to America. She gave me the number, give or take how much it had. But once Castro took over, it was crazy. So he got rid of all the black organization, but he kept all the feminists.
Right? About
Because
what?
ah, are you afraid with that also?
Yes.
All
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were the Secret Service for Antonio Marcel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Literally
yeah.
his
I got, I got,
bodyguards.
I got family in the department. I got family out there. I got
Yeah.
family. I give you that. They,
Established
they,
1836, bro.
yeah. I got from my grandfather and great grandfather. They were They were like the head honchos out there in Cuba.
Yeah.
My grandfather's actually in a documentary on that.
What?
I gotta find the documentary.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like in 1950 when they were first heading over. Whatever. He was part of that.
Bro, that's what really ran Cuba and Castro. I would say like this: white Cubans envied it because white Cubans were not allowed to join Abaqua for a long time.
Oh, but you hear the fuck what's going on with that shit now? You hear the fuck shit's going on?
What?
They're letting white folks in now.
Oh, they've been letting the white folks in for over 100
Yeah.
years.
Yeah,
But the
there's been
thing
some
is,
bullshit out. But now they're being blatant now. They're talking about them being like the head leaders and shit now.
well, yeah, the thing is, once they initiated one white person, he initiated another one, and they created their own little cliques of all
Yeah.
white Abaquas.
Yeah, I can't get jiggy with that shit.
Nah,
I can't.
there's still some that don't officially recognize them
Yeah,
too,
I don't
to this
recognize
day.
them. I don't recognize. And now I'm hearing some shit because that's supposed to be a Cuban thing. And now I'm hearing my uncle told me now they're trying to take that shit to Miami,
Oh,
and
they
that shit's
did.
supposed to think Cuba. They did that already.
They did already, but let me explain to you. Because I this just happened like 2 months ago. It's
Yeah,
very
it was
fresh in
recent.
this world history that did that. But the thing is, though, they made a good point because I've been hearing both sides. The people that don't like it and the people that did it, they've been talking, and they made a good point. They said, "Why you think Awakwa is only allowed in Havana and Matanza, and Fo and in Fee? It's not allowed in Cuba, the whole island. You know, if you're from Santiago, they won't initiate you in Awakwa.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have
yeah,
to be
yeah.
from
You have to be
Leila,
from that.
Havana,
Yeah,
Guanabacoa, those
yeah.
places." I said, I don't know. Why is it like that? They said, because it's too strong. Imagine if all the black people on the entire island were Awakwa and that network linked up. They could literally overthrow any dictatorship overnight. They could run the whole island overnight. They have their own language. They said they needed to control them and keep them close to the capital. Then they say the Awakwas in Cuba now, the head honchos are all part of the government, like
That's the
informants.
problem. That's the problem too. It got infiltrated. That's
They got
why.
infiltrated.
And my mom told me full story how that really came. There was a reason why it was supposed to stay in that particular place. The mom told me the story. I got to ask her again, but there's a reason why it was supposed to stay there and not leave those particular areas. They're not supposed to be in Miami. They're not supposed to like merge to other places. It's supposed to stay there for a reason. So if
Well,
you have to go
because it
there,
was
you have to go all the
controlled.
way there.
Because it was
Hmm?
controlled. It was easier for the government to control it in that area because it's close to Capitolio. It's close to
No, 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 no.
Havana.
It's not, but it's not that. It was something else. I'm talking about back in like when it first, for like in the 1700s, it was a reason for that religious purpose
Yeah,
why it's supposed to stay there. Not
yeah,
supposed to leave religious wise. And wherever
yeah.
wants to go, you have to go there specifically. It's not like you take it and move it somewhere else. There was a reason why it's supposed to stay there, and that's why you're not supposed because it got real ridiculous outside of the white people. You're supposed to have a sobering mind, a sobering body. So you got people going there drunk, high, full of
Yeah, yeah.
disrespect, not know what the fuck they're talking about, trying to make a buck out of it, bringing white people. There's a lot of fuckery going on that they're pretty much making a mockery of the religion. You know what I mean? It's not being as strict as it's
It's
supposed to
been
be.
changed. It's been changed. You got
Yeah,
gangsters joining. They're treated like a gang now.
yeah. So that's the
It's
problem.
been altered.
It's being treated like a mockery. So
It's been
it's not showing
altered,
that
bro.
respect. It's not
It's
just giving the
been
respect it should be.
it's been altered, but I do understand the point that the people in Miami made said that when they made it in Miami, it's communist free. Because at the end of the day, if the leaders in Cuba want to do something, they're going to stop it because they're communists and they rose to the higher ranks.
I don't know. That's a slippery slope. That's a slippery slope because
Yeah,
now you got people in Miami, and I don't think the people in Miami they're not really like I don't want to say in tune, but they're not really on it like that. I mean, if you want to go like gang culture, like you know how Bloods and Cripples like an LA thing, and then
right,
people from New York took it and be like, oh, we want to be in people in LA. They took offense like, yo, you're not on it like that. There's levels to this. You can't just say we're
right,
blood because we're Bloods. No, no, no. You got to
yeah,
come out here to get this shit correct or whatever. So you had gang members from LA going to New York and Jersey and even in Arkansas try to do the same too. So you have these gangs like the head honcho telling yo send the U-turns over there because we have to because if you guys come to Cali with this bullshit we're gonna have a problem. So you got to
like
sit this straight.
like how the Crips went from LA to Kansas City or Little Rock, Arkansas.
Little
Like
Rock,
there's a lot
you
of
see the
Crips in
documentary the back in the day
yeah,
back in the day
yeah. But it was like real Crips that left LA, South
and
Central.
brought it down
I,
there
they brought to
and they
Arkansas. They
needed
spread.
permission. They needed permission. It wasn't those stable that
Yes,
we done it. They needed permission.
yes. They needed to do something. They had to check in,
Yeah,
and it grew. But I personally would like to see every Cuban tradition free of communism, or at least have a choice if
yeah,
I want to partake with communist brothers and sisters, because I don't want to be involved with them because I see it as a counterproductive mindset for us as a people. Cubans are too talented. They're too skilled. We could make an alternator from a scooter fit in a Cadillac.
yeah,
I've seen them do it here in
yeah,
Miami. They know they got know how, bro.
yeah.
When you need something, there's a mother of invention. Necessity is a mother of invention. So
Mhm.
I feel like Cubans are really skilled at inventing things, bro, and kind of making things. We're improvising is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
we're the true definition making lemon out of lemonade. We are the motherfuckers that do that. The thing that gets upsetting though, man, is like all the talent over the years that that could have been out here and we couldn't, took it to like the best, the things, the ultimate level because
right,
of the fuckery. You know what I
right,
mean? It's like it like you got things like reggaeton and bachata going on. But like imagine if our shit was as big as that and we were able to sell
right,
Madison Square Garden. And
wow.
unfortunately, the talent that we have in Miami and in Cuba just stays in Miami.
It stays in Miami.
It's in Miami. It doesn't expand because two reasons: either they don't want to leave Miami or they don't know how to expand and network themselves outside of Miami.
Yeah,
Then you got the marketing section or whatever. It's like they're still stuck in a bubble. And I've been to Miami so many times. There's so much talent over there. It's so much talent. Yo, if you could come up here and get this shit right out here, man, you guys would like blow everybody out the water.
yeah. Miami's hot, bro. I got some good people down here, bro. I could connect you with some good artists. I got one. I'm gonna shoot you away, bro. It's fire for real. He's actually super duper fire, and he's in
Yeah.
Spanish. But it's just like his beat selection is like Justice League type beats, and it's different.
Oh, soulful type shit.
Yeah, it's very soulful, and his
Yeah.
lyrics they touch too. They hit
Yeah.
home.
Now,
You know.
I've met some cats down there that get busy. That they split English and Spanish out there. I put their music out here whenever I can, and I try to give them an outlook out here to get this shit off.
Yeah. I gotta say one thing though before I get off this line with you. I
Yeah.
grew up looking up to Malcolm X, and I'm very disappointed in what he did. How he sit down with Castro, and Malcolm X never ever once said, "How does the Afro-Cuban fare? How does the Afro-Cuban develop?" You know what I'm saying? And I
Well,
just never
here's the thing.
understood that.
You're not the first person that said that, but this was like 1960. No one knew. No one knew the plan that he had before he did the nonsense. No one knew what was coming when he did what he did. So that picture was because that's when he did that fucking bullshit theatrical thing. Like I'm not gonna go here. I'm gonna go to Harlem and support black business, and made it look that
Yeah,
theatrical thing he did. So everybody fell for it. No one knew. Now I won't go after Malcolm, but I will go after like the Nation of Islam, and I'll go after like the relatives. You know what I mean? That still praise that shit. That's the people I got a
but
problem with that.
but Malcolm never said nothing after. Like what African American revolutionary ever said help Black Cubans? They actually just
They
use
were
us
quiet.
to go somewhere to hide.
I
They
could go
just
after
use us.
the. Now, there's the thing. I could critique the Black Panthers after this because they went to Cuba after everything happened, and once they saw what it was doing to us, they went to Europe. Very few spoke. Very few spoke and said this is what's going on to us. I'm more critical with those people because Malcolm died in '65, but between
Right.
'73 to '89, they were all going out there escaping the fucking they were going out here. So I
But
could
the
be very
thing is,
critical about those
you
people.
you can't say nothing bad about somebody to let you in their house, especially knowing you ain't good back at your house no more. So I wouldn't even expect them to say anything bad
Fair
about it.
enough, but once they left though, once they left, they could have talked about like, this is going on here. They were quiet. You know what I mean? I
Oh
understand if you're
yeah.
home, don't say much, but you left. A lot of them left, and very few spoke. I went to the Cuban Museum up in Miami, and they actually spoke about the few Panther that spoke after they escaped America because there were a few that escaped or whatever, and then once they lived out there, and so it looked like, oh, this ain't what we thought this shit was gonna be like, and 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 like I said, very few spoke. And they left. Dudes, what's the dude's name? Eldridge Cleaver. Is that him? Eldridge Cleaver.
Elbridge Cleaver, yes sir.
Yeah. So everybody was very critical of him because he was like the most extreme one from like the whole Panthers. And then once he like left Cuba, he ended up, I think, went to Africa and became like crazy conservative and voted for Reagan. And he
Love
got
our
accused of being a
artists.
sellout and all this other stuff. And I always thought, what led to him to go from this extreme to that
Right.
extreme? What did he saw? But again, he never spoke about it. He just said, "Yo, I'm just going to this side." Something happened. I'm under the assumption that something must have happened in Cuba that said, "You know what? I have to rearrange how I'm thinking." But again, very few spoke, and the ones that did speak, they were now on a Huey Newton level to say like,
Right.
this is what's going on. They were kind of low level Panthers.
Because the thing is, my godfather, he got crowned Obatala in 1980. And when they crowned him Obatala, there was no drums played at his ceremony because they had to hide it. In
Mm-hmm.
1980, bro, that's not even far. Bob Marley was still alive in 1980. And because the religion was Pesiguia, it was prohibited. And
Yeah,
then to think of something so far up, 1980, we have to hide our culture, we have to hide our drums, bro.
yeah.
You
It
know what
like
I'm
was
saying?
speak. It was like the slave. We have to speak in codes. We have to sing our way to get messages.
Yeah, to this day, to this
To this
day,
day.
to this day, we have to put codes in our messages and our phone calls, everything that we do.
Yeah. So I would like to do a part two sometime soon.
We definitely do because I can build on this conversation a lot further as far as just ideas that I think that we should take going forward that can help kind of reestablish our foundation as Afro-Cubans
No doubt. You
amongst the
got Tik
Cuban diaspora.
you got TikTok?
I don't got the TikTok.
All right, yeah, cause TikTok, I got more numbers out there. So I know there's been people that are trying to link with me to talk about more of this thing or whatever. But I'm trying to get it right.
I'll
I'm trying
make
to get
one.
everybody together.
I'll make one.
Yeah, I got some people I want you to connect with. And we'll definitely talk that talk.
Yeah,
And
yeah, definitely.
I gotta get. Well, I'm with the religion, but I'm not initiated yet. So I'm trying to get myself initiated. Cause I'm in the LAY department.
Okay,
So
okay. You got your
I'm in
hand
the
in
LAY.
now yet?
Huh?
You got your
Oh
hand
yeah, of
in
course.
now?
Yeah, I got mine. I got mine right here. I got mine right here.
I sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you can come to Miami anytime you want, man. It's all loved out here. We do everything to help you out.
Yeah. Well, no, I
You
got family there. My
yeah,
uncle's Babalao.
yeah, there you go. Kids come
Yeah.
down here, we hang
You
out, we
probably
play
know him.
drums.
You probably know him on there. He's already known out there. So we'll
Yeah,
probably get this thing together and we'll definitely link up, man. But I definitely want to do a part two either
we
next
link
week or
up,
2 weeks
man.
from now and get this thing going, man. Cause I really want to get this thing popping.
We link up and we'll play drums, bro. That's all we do. We link up and we play drums and we just build and reason.
Dale, dale.
Ya, mi hermano, che, bendiciones para ti, mi
Ah,
hermano.
che,
Sure.
Iworu.
Che.
Che. All right. And there you have it, folks.